First Contact's Deception. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the Earth's flagship Hyperion, watching the massive alien station grow larger in the viewport. After decades of preparation, humanity was about to make its first contact with the galactic community. The irony of the situation wasn't lost on her. This carefully orchestrated meeting had been planned for the past 50 years. Final approach vector confirmed. Lieutenant James Rodriguez reported from his station. The Galactic Concordat's welcoming committee awaits us in Docking Bay 7. Sarah straightened her uniform, a small smile playing at the corners of her mouth. The Hyperion, while impressive by Earth's official standards, was deliberately designed to appear less advanced than it truly was. Hidden beneath its conventional exterior lay technology that would make even the most advanced species in the Concordat pause. "Remember, everyone," she addressed her bridge crew. "We're here to learn and observe. We're the newcomers, the primitives who just achieved faster-than-light travel." Her words were met with knowing smiles from her crew, all handpicked for this mission. The Hyperion docked with practiced precision, though Sarah made sure they appeared slightly hesitant, like a species still getting used to space travel. As the airlock cycled, she prepared herself for the performance of a lifetime. The welcoming party consisted of 5 different species, each more alien than the last. At their head stood a tall, crystalline being whose body seemed to shift colors with each movement. Ambassador Xylith of the Prismatic Collective. Sarah's briefing supplied silently through her neural interface, another piece of technology they were keeping hidden. "Welcome to the Galactic Concordat." Xylith's translated voice chimed through their universal translators. "We are pleased to welcome humanity to the greater community of spacefaring civilizations." Sarah bowed slightly, playing her role perfectly. "Thank you, Ambassador. We are honored to be here. I am Commander Chen of the United Earth Space Force. We have much to learn from your advanced civilizations." A reptilian being in the back made a sound that Sarah's translator interpreted as a snort of derision. The neural interface identified him as War Chief Kraz of the Drachnid Empire, a militant species known for their technological superiority complex. As they were led through the station, Sarah carefully noted every detail, comparing it to the intelligence Earth already possessed. The Concordat's technology was impressive, but nothing they hadn't seen before, or surpassed, in their secret developments. "Your species has achieved remarkable progress," a floating, jellyfish-like being observed. "To achieve FTL travel merely 2 decades after your first lunar landing is unexpected." The slight pause spoke volumes about their true thoughts. "We are eager learners," Sarah replied modestly, while suppressing a smile. If they only knew that humanity had mastered quantum folding technology 40 years ago, thanks to their secret allies. The tour culminated in the Concordat's Grand Chamber, where representatives from over 30 spacefaring civilizations gathered. Sarah felt their dismissive gazes, their patronizing attitudes barely concealed behind diplomatic pleasantries. "The humans will require significant guidance," War Chief Kraz announced to the assembly. "Their technology is primitive, their understanding of cosmic principles basic at best. We must ensure they don't destabilize existing trade routes or diplomatic relations through their ignorance." Sarah maintained her humble demeanor, even as she received real-time updates through her neural interface about the quantum shield grid Earth had just completed around their solar system. A defensive technology far beyond anything the Concordat possessed. "We welcome any guidance the Concordat can provide," she responded, her words carefully chosen. "Earth hopes to be a productive member of the galactic community." As the diplomatic proceedings continued, Sarah's thoughts drifted to the real reason for humanity's tirade. The classified reports of a massive threat approaching from the galaxy's outer rim, something that even the mighty Concordat wasn't prepared to face. Earth's secret fleet, hidden in quantum pocket spaces throughout the solar system, stood ready. But for now, they would wait and watch. The meeting concluded with Earth being granted provisional membership in the Concordat, with heavy restrictions and oversight. As Sarah led her crew back to the Hyperion, Ambassador Xylith approached her privately. "Commander, I sense there's more to your species than meets the eye," the crystalline being observed, its colors shifting to deep blue tones. Sarah met the ambassador's gaze steadily. "We're full of surprises, Ambassador. Humanity has learned that sometimes it's better to be underestimated." As the Hyperion departed the station, Sarah received a priority message from Earth Command. The quantum sensors had detected something massive entering the galaxy's outer rim. The threat they had prepared for was arriving sooner than expected. "Set course for Earth," she ordered, her voice steady. "It's time to prepare for Phase 2. The Hyperion's conventional engines flared as they departed, hiding the quantum drive that could have taken them home in an instant. Behind them, the Concordat's mighty station gleamed in the starlight, its occupants unaware that their newest, primitive members would soon become their only hope for survival. In her quarters later, Sarah reviewed the classified feeds from Earth's quantum observation network. The threat was growing, and soon the galaxy would face a choice: adapt or perish. Humanity had chosen to adapt long ago, preparing in secret while playing the role of humble newcomers. "Computer, secure channel to Earth Command," she ordered. "Tell them it's time to begin awakening the fleet. The real first contact is about to begin." As she sent the message, Sarah couldn't help but smile at the irony. The galaxy's primitive newcomers were about to change everything. The only question was whether the Concordat's pride would allow them to accept help from those they had dismissed so easily. The pieces were in place. The game was set, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy exactly what they had been hiding behind their mask of civility and technological backwardness. The real test would begin soon enough. The swarm approaches. The emergency meeting of the Galactic Concordat erupted into chaos as the holographic displays showed another colonial system going dark. War Chief Kraz's scales had turned pale, a sign of extreme stress in his species, as he delivered the report. "The Nexus colony has fallen," he announced, his translator barely keeping up with his agitated speech. "That's the fourth system this cycle. These creatures, they're unlike anything we've encountered." Commander Sarah Chen sat quietly in humanity's designated section, deliberately positioned at the far edges of the chamber, a place reserved for developing species. Through her neural interface, she watched Earth's quantum sensors tracking the true extent of the invasion. The Concordat didn't even know half of what was coming. Ambassador Xylith's crystalline form pulsed with worried colors. "The swarm, as we're calling them, appears to be a collective consciousness. Their biomechanical ships adapt to our weapons after each encounter. Traditional defense strategies are proving ineffective." Perhaps a new voice cut through the chamber. "It's time to consider evacuating the outer systems." The suggestion came from General Voss of the Arcanian Federation, one of the Concordat's oldest members. "Pull back to more defensible positions." Sarah's hands clenched beneath the table. The Arcanian's suggestion would abandon billions to their fate. Her neural interface buzzed with an incoming priority message from Earth Command. "Fleet ready. Awaiting your ASSESSN." She stood up, drawing surprised looks from the assembly. As a representative of a primitive species, she was expected to observe, not participate. "Distinguished members of the Concordat," she began, her voice clear and confident, "Earth would like to offer an alternative suggestion." War Chief Kraz's translator crackled with his derisive laugh. "With all due respect, Commander Chen, what could Earth possibly contribute to this crisis? Your most advanced chips can barely achieve stable FTL travel." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "Perhaps it's time we showed you what humanity is truly capable of." She gestured, and a holographic display materialized in the center of the chamber, far more detailed and stable than anything the Concordat possessed. "This is a real-time quantum scan of the swarm's approach," she explained as the assembly stared in shock at the technology they thought beyond human capabilities. "Their collective consciousness has a distinct quantum signature. We've been tracking them since they entered the galaxy." The chamber erupted again, but this time with confused and angry questions. Ambassador Xylith's colors shifted rapidly. "How? How is this possible? Your species has been deceiving you. Sarah finished. Yes, we had our reasons. For the past 50 years, Earth has been preparing for this exact scenario. We made first contact long ago, with refugees fleeing from the swarm's initial invasion of their galaxy. The hologram shifted, showing Earth's solar system. Hidden quantum pockets began to open, revealing a massive fleet of ships unlike anything the Concordat had ever seen. Sleek vessels with technology that seemed to bend reality itself emerged into normal space. This is the Terra Defense Fleet, Sarah announced. Over 500 ships equipped with quantum-fold drives, adaptive shield technology, and weapons specifically designed to combat the swarm's biological components. War Chief Kraz had risen from his seat, his scales now flushed with anger. You've been lying to us. This is a violation of multiple Concordat treaties. Treaties that you forced upon us, believing we were primitive. Sarah countered. While you dismissed us as barely spacefaring, we built this fleet. While you debated how to guide us, we developed technologies specifically to fight the threat you didn't even know was coming. The hologram shifted again, showing the swarm's projected path. They're not just attacking random systems, Sarah explained. They're systematically eliminating the Concordat's ability to produce ships and weapons. Within 3 cycles, you won't have the industrial capacity to mount any defense. Ambassador Xylith moved forward, its crystalline form now steady with purpose. You speak with remarkable certainty about their tactics, Commander. Because we've been fighting them in secret, Sarah revealed. Those pirate raids on their advanced scouts. Those mysterious defensive actions that gave colonies time to evacuate. That was us, testing their capabilities, learning their weaknesses. The chamber had fallen silent, the mighty Concordat species now hanging on every word from the representative of a primitive race. Sarah took a deep breath, knowing her next words would change the galaxy forever. Earth is officially offering the Terra Defense Fleet to the Concordat's war effort, she declared. But we do so as equals, not as subordinates. The time for pretense is over. The real question is, can you set aside your pride and work with us? Through her neural interface, Sarah could see the quantum signatures of swarm ships approaching another colony. Time was running out. The Concordat's response in the next few moments would determine the fate of countless lives. Ambassador Xylith moved to the center of the chamber, its crystalline form now glowing with determination. I move to immediately grant Earth full membership status and tactical command authority in the defense against the swarm. War Chief Kraz snarled, but even he couldn't deny the evidence before him. The Drachnid Empire seconds the motion. As the vote swept through the chamber, Sarah sent a simple message back to Earth Command. Initiate Phase 3. The real war was about to begin, and humanity was finally ready to show the galaxy exactly what they could do. First strike. The command center aboard the TDF Hyperion hummed with activity as Commander Sarah Chen studied the tactical display. The newly integrated Concordat forces were still adjusting to fighting alongside Earth's fleet, but there was no more time for practice runs. The swarm had just appeared on the edge of the Arcturus system, threatening one of the Concordat's major shipyard complexes. Status report. Sarah commanded, her neural interface processing multiple data streams simultaneously. Terra Defense Fleet in position. Lieutenant Rodriguez reported. Concordat forces are attempting to match our formation. The slight hesitation in his voice spoke volumes about the coordination challenges they faced. War Chief Kraz's holographic form appeared beside her. Commander Chen, my ships are ready for battle. Though I still question placing Drachnid warships under human tactical control. Sarah didn't look up from the display. Your concerns are noted, War Chief. But remember what happened at Nexus Colony when everyone fought independently. The reminder silenced him. The loss of that colony still stung. Through the quantum sensors, Sarah watched the swarms approach. Their biomechanical ships moved with an unnatural synchronization, like a school of predatory fish. But now she could see the patterns in their movement, thanks to the data collected during Earth's secret encounters. All ships, battle formation Delta, she ordered. Concordat vessels, maintain your positions precisely. What you're about to see may seem strange, but trust in the plan. The massive fleet, a mix of Earth's advanced ships and the Concordat's powerful but conventional vessels, shifted into a seemingly scattered formation. To traditional tactical analysis, it looked like madness. Sarah could sense the confusion from their allies. "Commander," Ambassador Xylith's voice came through, their crystalline form shimmering with concern on the holographic display. "Our tactical computers suggest this formation leaves us vulnerable to." "Your computers don't understand what we're about to do," Sarah interrupted gently. "Watch and learn." The swarm entered weapons range, their ships moving to envelope what they perceived as a disorganized defense. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. They were about to demonstrate why humanity had kept their true capabilities hidden for so long. "Initiate quantum fold protocol," she ordered. "All Earth ships, activate your resonance fields. Concordat vessels, maintain your exact positions." The space around the human ships began to distort as their quantum technology activated. The scattered formation suddenly made sense. They weren't positioned for conventional combat, but to create a massive quantum interference pattern. "Now," Sarah commanded. The quantum fold engines of the Earth fleet activated simultaneously. Space itself seemed to twist and fold, creating a massive gravimetric web between their ships. The swarm vessels, caught in the effect, found their neural links disrupted by quantum interference. "Concordat vessels, target these coordinates." Sarah's neural interface transmitted precise firing solutions to each Allied ship. Fire. The combined firepower of the Allied fleet struck the confused and disorganized swarm ships. Without their collective consciousness to coordinate them, they were far less effective. Dozens of biomechanical vessels were destroyed in the first volley. But the swarm was nothing if not adaptive. Their ships began to shift, their organic components mutating to compensate for the quantum interference. Sarah had expected this. "Second phase," she ordered. "Activate the biomechanical disruptors." This was technology developed specifically from Earth's study of captured swarm debris, devices that could interfere with the biological components of their ships. The effects were immediate and devastating. Swarm vessels began to spasm and break apart as their organic systems rebelled against their mechanical components. War Chief Kraz's voice held a note of awe. "By the ancient stars, what are you doing to them?" "Breaking their connection to their ships at the cellular level," Sarah explained. "Their greatest strength, the fusion of organic and mechanical, becomes their weakness when properly exploited." The battle continued for another hour, but the outcome was never in doubt. When the quantum sensors finally showed no more swarm signatures in the system, a cheer went up from both human and Concordat crews. Sarah allowed her crew a moment of celebration before addressing the Allied fleet. "This victory belongs to all of us. Human ingenuity combined with Concordat power. But the war is far from over. The swarm will adapt to these tactics, and we must be ready." Later, in a private conference with the Concordat leadership, Ambassador Xylith asked the question that had been bothering them all. "Why did you hide these capabilities? With this technology, Earth could have demanded a higher position in the Concordat from the beginning." Sarah's response was measured. "Because we learned from the refugees who first contacted us. The swarm doesn't just attack randomly. They study, they adapt, they evolve. Every piece of technology you show them becomes a weapon they can use against you. By hiding our capabilities, we ensured they wouldn't start adapting to our defenses until we were ready to strike." War Chief Kraz nodded slowly, newfound respect in his posture. "A strategy worthy of the ancient warriors. But now that we've shown our hand, now we move fast." Sarah confirmed. "We have more technologies, more strategies they haven't seen yet. But our window of opportunity is limited. The real question is, are you ready to throw away your preconceptions and truly fight alongside us as equals?" The answer would determine not just the outcome of the next battle, but the fate of the galaxy itself. Adaptation. The holographic display aboard the TDF Hyperion painted a grim picture. Commander Sarah Chen watched as another simulation ended in failure, the projected casualties climbing higher with each iteration. 3 weeks had passed since their victory at Arcturus, and the swarm had been busy. "Run it again," she ordered, her neural interface processing combat data faster than any conventional system could manage. "There has to be a way through their new defenses." Lieutenant Rodriguez shook his head. "Commander, the latest intelligence confirms our fears. The swarm has developed organic quantum dampening fields. Our full technology is becoming less effective with each engagement." The door to the tactical center slid open as War Chief Kryze entered, his scales showing the dull gray of exhaustion. The Drachnid fleet lost another battle group in the Centauri sector. "These creatures, they're learning faster than anything we've ever encountered." Sarah nodded grimly. The swarm wasn't just adapting. It was evolving at an unprecedented rate. Every tactic they'd used successfully was being countered, every advantage nullified. The combined fleet's victories were becoming harder to achieve, and the cost in lives and ships was mounting. "Show me the Centauri battle footage," she requested. The holographic display shifted, showing the latest engagement. The swarm's ships moved differently now, their formations more complex, their responses more sophisticated. But something about their movement pattern caught her attention. "Freeze frame," she commanded. "Enhance Sector 7." The image zoomed in on a cluster of swarm vessels. Their biomechanical hulls had developed new structures, organic quantum sensors that mimicked human technology. But there was something else, something in the way they positioned themselves. "They're not just copying our technology," Sarah realized, her eyes widening. "They're improving on it. Look at their formation. It's an inverse of our quantum fold pattern, but with biological components we never considered possible." Ambassador Xylith's holographic form materialized in the tactical center, their crystalline structure pulsing with worried colors. "Commander Chen, the Concordat Council is demanding answers. 3 major systems have fallen in the past week alone. If we cannot find a way to stop their advance, we need to change our approach entirely." Sarah interrupted, her mind racing. "We've been thinking about this wrong. We've been trying to beat them with pure technology, but that's playing into their greatest strength, their ability to adapt and evolve." She turned to War Chief Kryze. "Your people have a saying, don't they, about the warrior who becomes predictable?" Kryze's scales shifted to a thoughtful blue. "Yes, the warrior who fights with the same blade twice has already lost." "Exactly." Sarah's fingers flew over the holographic controls, pulling up data from Earth's deepest archives. "We've been so focused on our advanced technology that we forgot our greatest strength, human unpredictability." The display filled with images from Earth's military history, ancient battles, guerrilla warfare, unconventional tactics that had changed the course of wars. The swarm operates on logic, on patterns. Even their adaptations follow predictable evolutionary paths. But humans can be illogical. We can make choices that defy tactical analysis. Ambassador Xylith's form flickered with confusion. "You're suggesting we abandon our technological advantage?" "No," Sarah smiled. "I'm suggesting we combine it with something the swarm can't copy, human chaos theory. Lieutenant Rodriguez, call up the psychological warfare protocols we developed but never implemented." "War Chief, I need everything you have." The battle that followed would go down in history as one of the strangest ever fought in space. But more importantly, it would mark the beginning of humanity's greatest contribution to the war, the art of tactical chaos. Chaos theory. The combined fleet hung in the darkness of space above Earth, a testament to how far the galaxy had come. Concordat ships flew in formation alongside human vessels, their crews no longer separated by prejudice or pride. They would need that unity for what was coming. Commander Sarah Chen stood on the Hyperion's bridge, watching the quantum sensors track the approaching swarm armada. This was it, the largest concentration of swarm ships ever detected, heading straight for humanity's home system. "They took the bait," she said quietly, her neural interface confirming what her eyes told her. "They think we've retreated to make our last stand." War Chief Kraz's massive form stood beside her, his scales shimmering with pre-battle tension. "Your species has an interesting saying, Commander. Fortune favors the bold. I never truly understood it until I saw your battle plans." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The past week had been spent training the combined fleet in tactics that seemed to break every rule of space combat. The Concordats' military strategists had called them insane. They weren't entirely wrong. "All ships, initiate Operation Pandemonium," she ordered. "Remember your training. Don't think like soldiers. Think like chaos agents." The fleet began to move, but not in any formation the galaxy had ever seen. Ships spun and tumbled seemingly at random, their movements following patterns based on Earth's weather systems and crowd dynamics. Some vessels flew backwards, their strongest shields now facing away from the enemy. Others began broadcasting ancient human music on all frequencies. "The swarm is responding," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, struggling to keep the amusement from his voice. "Their tactical analysis systems appear to be malfunctioning." On the tactical display, the swarm's perfect formations began to show signs of confusion. Their ships, used to responding to logical patterns and clear strategies, struggled to predict the seemingly random movements of the Allied fleet. "Phase 2, Sarah commanded. "Release the drones." Thousands of small craft erupted from the Allied ships. But these weren't ordinary drones. They were programmed with algorithms based on insect swarms, their movements following the chaotic patterns of angry wasps. Some carried electronic warfare packages, others were purely decoys, and some contained surprises that even most of the human fleet didn't know about. "They're attempting to adapt," Ambassador Xylith reported from their command ship. "Their organic components are evolving in real time, trying to find patterns in our movements." "Let them try," Sarah replied. "You can't evolve to counter chaos." Phase 3. Activate the quantum jazz. This was the riskiest part of the plan. Every human ship activated their quantum fold drives, but instead of the precise calculations they usually used, the drives were running on algorithms based on jazz music improvisations. The fabric of space-time began to twist and bend in ways that defied conventional physics. The swarm's biomechanical ships, attempting to counter these effects, found their organic components literally trying to evolve in multiple directions at once. Ships began to break apart as their biological and mechanical systems failed to agree on how to adapt. "Major breach in their center formation," Rodriguez called out. "Their command and control structure is destabilizing." Sarah leaned forward. "Now for the final. All ships, implement the butterfly protocol." This was the culmination of everything they had planned. A combination of quantum technology, biological warfare, psychological operations, and pure human unpredictability. Every ship in the Allied fleet began executing maneuvers based on chaos theory's butterfly effect, their actions calculated to create cascade failures throughout the swarm's neural network. The effect was devastating. The swarm's collective consciousness, unable to process or adapt to the sheer illogical nature of the attack, began to fragment. Ships collided with each other as their coordination broke down. Others simply shut down, their organic components going into evolutionary shock. "Push the advantage," Sarah ordered. "All ships, weapons free. Hit them with everything we've got." The combined fleet struck with devastating force, their attacks coming from impossible angles thanks to the quantum distortions. Concordat weapons, guided by human chaos algorithms, found weak points that shouldn't have existed. Earth's quantum weapons, their effects amplified by the spatial distortions, tore through the swarm's usually adaptive defenses. War Chief Kraz watched in amazement as the mighty swarm armada began to disintegrate. "In all my years of warfare, I have never seen anything like this. Your species truly is remarkable, Commander." "We just remembered something important," Sarah replied, watching as the battle turned into a rout. "The most advanced solution isn't always the best one. Sometimes you need to embrace a little chaos." Hours later, as the fleet conducted cleanup operations, Ambassador Xylith called an emergency session of the Concordat Council. Their holographic form shimmered with excitement as they addressed the assembly. "Today marks a new era for our galaxy," they announced. "The swarm threat has been neutralized, thanks to the combination of Concordat's strength and human ingenuity. But more importantly, we have learned a valuable lesson about the danger of assumptions and the strength found in diversity." Sarah stood at attention as the ambassador continued. "The Concordat hereby proposes the creation of a new council, the Strategic Innovation Command. Its purpose will be to combine the technologies and tactics of all our species in new and unprecedented ways. And we can think of no better first leader for this initiative than Commander Sarah Chen." As the assembly erupted in approval, Sarah thought about the journey that had brought them here. From pretending to be primitive to teaching the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy a lesson about thinking differently. The humans had hidden their technology out of necessity, but in the end, it wasn't their advanced weapons that had saved the day. It was their uniquely human way of thinking. "I accept," she said simply, "on one condition: that we remember what really won this war. Not superior technology, not advanced weapons, but the willingness to think differently and work together. Because in the end, the greatest strength of any species isn't in their tools or their weapons, but in their ability to adapt, to think creatively, and to embrace the unexpected." The swarm had evolved to counter every logical strategy, every predictable response, but they could never evolve to counter humanity's greatest weapon: their ability to be brilliantly, wonderfully, and unpredictably human.